In this video, we're going to have a retrospective look at 70s championship for makes cars. And I've got three different examples here. Mid-70s. Interesting about the three cars I've chosen is they're from the mid-70s, from 74 to 77. And interesting too, on these three examples are from three different slot car manufacturers. So we get to review and see, just the philosophy of design and construction, and we'll do a little track test and see how they compare. So right off the bat, we're going to start with the earliest version of our championship of makes, or Le Mans. All these cars did race at Le Mans, not that these specific ones race there, and we'll get into that when we get at the individuals. So the first up is 1974, Matra-Simca. And this is a Slot.It, of which probably many of you are very familiar with. This came out some time ago, but a very successful slot car. I know at the time when this came out, everybody raved about how stuck down and low and well cornering, like the car is magic on the track. And the detail, like all slot, it's exceptionally well done. And this is a great example here. So this one is the, I believe, and let's take a look at the box while we're at it. So we have a cardboard box. We've got the Matra-Simca MS670B. It's Le Mans Winter Collection. And inside we have a nice little photo with a little write-up on that particular car. And we've got our little collector card here. So 1752 out of 3,000. So quite a few of them made. Drivers. And again, this was the 1974 Le Mans winning car. Drivers, Henry Pasquarolo and Gerard LaRose. I know that name from, well, both those names, Formula One in the 70s and early 80s. So these guys are well known in the racing world for different disciplines. But anyways, fabulous car. Look how low and flat that looks. And that's really a lot of the success of this car. Very low center of gravity. And that typical Slot.It, have a rear magnet, different places to put them. Stuck it in the back on this one. Although sometimes they tend to do a wheelie. The traction is so much at the back. But they do run well. Next up, we have an SRC. And this one, I just love this car. I don't know what it is about it that really appeals to me. This is Alfa Romeo 33TT12. This one is not Le Mans winner, although a very similar car did win Le Mans around this time. This is 1975. This is Watkins Glen 6 hours race. And that's not too far from me. Watkins Glen is about a 3-hour drive, and I have been there a number of times, but not in 75. And this was raced by Henry Pasquarolo, who drove the Matra that we had just seen, and Derek Bell. Anyway, look at this car. I mean, I just love Alfa Romeo. We got that beautiful little metal etched badge up front. Nice super detail. I'm looking at all the little vents, and look at the venting over the front wheels. This is all openings. The detail is just remarkable. Now, the warning on slot cars is that you lose mirrors and wings and everything else, but look at this rear view mirror in the center. There's an accident waiting to happen. Now, quite fortunately, that pops out. You can easily take that. And I usually do when I go to give this a run. Because, man, if this car flipped over, that's snapped off, no problem. But look how tall that is. And that's to get to be able to see behind this huge rear wing. This particular endurance car, very Formula One oriented. If you look at the wheels on this, very tiny front, massive rear tires. And if you compare this to a 1975 Formula One car, near identical. They must be using the same tire dimensions and compounds. There's nice exhaust detail. They always got great detail in the back end here, which is fantastic. And with this one, SRC, very much like Fly, an offshoot of Fly. So Spanish made, and I believe it's Spanish made or Italian. We'll have to check into that. But anyways, yeah, nice painted up driver. Super detailed painted up driver, which is excellent. And then last up, and this is kind of the inspiration for this video, is that I just purchased this one, Scalextric. And again, a fantastic representation of a 1977 Mirage GR8. And now this second place in the Le Mans in 1977. And this was driven by Vern Schuppan and Jean-Pierre Jarier. And Jean-Pierre Jarier, Formula One driver, exceptional F1 driver, who I'd seen race at Mosport and such. So it looks like the helmet must be the other driver, this Vern fellow, because I'm not familiar with a gold helmet as such. But again, exceptional detail, like the tempo printing is just second to none. And that's what attracted to me. The colors, the sponsorship, everything on here is excellent. Disappointment, yeah. So here are those vents over there. They're not carved through like on the last sample that I showed. So it's representative, but it doesn't follow through. Other vents, all these dovetail intakes are all there. And there's giant intake here. Mid-70s, yeah, technologically, they found having an airbox up here, forcing air into the carburetors and the injector stacks gave a huge advantage in top-end speed. And that's part of my picking these three cars. All three of them have those airboxes in it. And you can see from the first one to the second one to the third, that airbox got bigger and bigger, almost to the point of absurdity. And they certainly went over the top in Formula One to a point where they banned them outright. So they figured they're getting so large, they're getting dangerous. If they came off, it's a huge accident waiting to happen. But these Le Mans cars were taking full advantage of that as well. Again, great detail all around here. Nicely detailed cockpit inside. Just nicely done. And your typical Scalextric underneath. Yeah, I think all of these, well, let's see, I could be wrong. This one's a Sidewinder. Let me just check. This one, I believe, is 2. Yeah, Sidewinder on the SRC. I think this one, oh, this one is 2. Yeah, all Sidewinders. So should be a good comparison when looking at these cars. Now, SRC, different manufacturer, so a different box altogether. Nice little photos of that car representative, and here it says down below, 6-hour Watkins Glen, 1975. So that was the winner of that race, which is excellent. Let me see, can I get that? There we go. There we go, with those drivers' names spelt out. And then we have the Scalextric in that very common crystal case here. Identified as 24 hours, but really doesn't give you any information other than it is the Mirage GR8. You have to go around the back and hit the barcode for where it gives you some information that it came in second in the 1977 Le Mans. So would have been nice if the case had some real identification and drivers and information, particularly like the Slot.It. But then this is a special edition, and they really did a nice job of writing up and giving you information. So next up, we'll take a look at some of my book collection that reviews these cars and the races, and then we'll get on to the track. I don't have a whole lot of literature on Le Mans cars, even in the 70s. But what I do have is auto course and automobile year. Mostly focused on Formula One, but they always have a Le Mans and Championship for Makes section. Sometimes quite small, some maybe a little more elaborate. But right off the bat, we have 1974. And I enjoy this too, because I can see the comparison of Formula One cars to the Le Mans cars, Championship for Makes cars, and see the similarities or the differences between those series. So here we go. Matras dominate the sports car scene, and there we go. Here we have that car. Always like having the book so I can compare to the accuracy, proportion, dimensions of the slot cars. And that's a huge part of my interest in the slot cars, is my interest in the real thing. And here's our drivers. We get to visualize, see who they are, which is excellent. You can also see some of the competition of the other slot cars, because there's that Alfa Romeo, which raced very similar. Well, both these cars raced very similar for more than the 1974. So we do see them in subsequent years as we move forward. Oh, well, there you go. You can see this section was very small. We got a 2-page spread. That's what we got for Championship of Makes with the auto course. Now, if we go to the automobile year, 1974, we have a larger section. So here we go. We've got that Championship of Makes, or 4 makes, here on the cover. We can see distinctively, here's the back end of this Matra. We can recognize that silhouette in the distance, that it's this particular car. And it's one of the, and here's our Alfa Romeo. One of the reasons why I like the design of the airbox on cars, it made them very distinctive. Every manufacturer had a different shape, philosophy behind them. And you could recognize a car immediately. Here's a great shot. Look at this one here. You can see how accurate that very flat, let me see if I get that. That very flat low. So it's successful with a slot car, held true with the real thing. And it was successful there. And the slot car, the same. Oh, here we go. Another front end view of that same car. And there's that Alfa Romeo looking very similar to the one that we've looked at. You know, just color scheme and whatnot changes from year to year. And some nice color images. Yeah, the one thing about automobile year compared to autocourse is the quality of the photography, and particularly the color photography, is quite superior. But what autocourse is really known for is the articles and how well written and thorough their reviews are on the season and the races. Here's a great cross section of this same car. So really get to see the mechanics and the understanding of the layout behind it. Do we got much more? Yeah, there's some great, excellent off the grid at Le Mans. Fantastic. And some of the lesser categories. And here we go. There's Jean-Pierre Jarier in this image here. So excellent. So we go on to our next year, which is the 1975. And let me see, I'm just looking up my other one here. Yeah, so I've got automobile year as well as the auto course. And here's World Championship for Makes, and there's that car right up front. And I think, yeah, this is number 2. This is number 4, the actual winner. But again, you can see they got the proportions and the shape just right. Really did a great job on this. Let's see what we got in here. Fabulous photo. I had this book long before I got the slot car, and always really liked this photo of the car. and it looks great. Interesting is that the bodywork is all fiberglass, and you can see right through with the, I don't know, hopefully you can see it in the video, yeah, with the sun shining backlit, that the bodywork, all fiberglass, is almost semi-transparent. You can see the tubular construction of the chassis. Excellent. There we go. Look at this. Classic. At the time, that car flying through the air and over the hill. Excellent. Here's a car I wish they did. Nobody except for Le Mans Miniatures, which are resin and can be very fragile. I'd love to see the Renault, which was a very successful car at the time as well. That would have been really great. Here we go. Here's that car in the rain. And again, reading these articles, you really get to understand the drivers and everybody behind these successful races. So an excellent, highly recommend these books. And again, that's my interest. It's just not the slot car in the competition. It's the representation of the car from its real racing heritage. Here is, that's 75 again of the Alfa Romeo. But here's a Mirage. And Scalextric does make this version. I happen to go for this one because, again, I've got this thing about the large airbox, and I just found the color scheme. Even though I love the whole Golf, I just found the car quite plain, whereas this one had more interest to me. And again, I got a good collection of Golf cars, so I wanted to change that up a little bit. But if we go through this, we do learn about the team, the cars. There's those Alfa Romeos again. And there we go. So a small section in the auto course. And then when we come to the 77, which is this Mirage, yeah, the Automobilia, I have it, but it was a very small section and I couldn't find a single picture of our car in question here. So I went and showed just this one, and yeah, we got a great picture right here of that car at Watkins Glen. So that was great to see. And you can see how, again, accuracy, all the tempo printing of all the ads and everything was perfect, and everything's really nice. If anything, in the photos, I noticed that the that airbox is rounder in the opening in the photos of the real car than the very oblong shape in the slot car. All right, so there we go. Track test time. Okay, first up is the Matra from Slot.It. The reputation on this Slot.It car is accurate. This is absolutely easy to run and super fast around this track. Running them all at 12 volt. Next one up is our SRC Alfa Romeo. Much quieter, and sometimes it kind of gives the impression it's not going as fast, and I think it is going slow. It looks like it has the potential of running at a higher voltage than the other car, but it does run nice and easy, but doesn't give the same sense of speed. So I'm not sure if it's actually going slower or it's just that it's so quiet. And then last is our Scalextric of the Mirage. Now I found this one the bigger challenge of the cars. It's not quite as glued down, but it certainly does motor at the 12 volt. And there it goes. We'll wrap it up. So that just tells you that drivability, the Scalextric's probably the more difficult, and the Slot.It Matra, man, it's the winner by far. See you in the next one.